Warning, F-bombs are armed and may be dropped, but probably not today. Normally I'm an asshole, but today I get to do something fun. I get to demonstrate a technique. Alright. We are going to put an I-splice into 550 cord. First of all, what is 550 cord? Better known as parachute cord. I've heard it called trucker cord and a million other things. Today we're using orange because it shows up really well, and we're going to be using this for another project as well. Alright, first step is to remove the core. What is the core? It's these white strands inside of this orange one. In black 550 cord, it's still white. In blue 550 cord, it's still white. It's always white cord. I don't know why. Carefully draw it out, and then just pull and pull and pull until you have this. All of these beautiful little white threads. Now don't throw these away. These will come in handy later, although not quite that much. What you should be left with is this. Alright, this is the standing part, and this is the bitter end. Now imagine for a minute that this was tied off to something. Let's say a hook, alright? A hook would be tied off to the bitter end, and the standing part would be tied off to your fishing reel. Alright. Now, first step to actually putting the eye in. There's two ways, and I'm going to show you the hard way and explain the difference at the end. First of all, figure out how big your eye has to be. Alright, so we're going to go about there. Insert your needle into your line. Now, if you just have to shove it in there for now, just shove it in there for now. Don't worry about that. I'll fix that in a second. Alright. Set your object, if applicable, down. Back the needle tip out and slide it into the core. Now for this project we can go like 1/4 of an inch. If it has any kind of load bearing, it should go much deeper and you should be using a much bigger eye to begin with. But in this case we can shortcut because, like I said, it's not going to be load bearing. Bitter end. Thread the needle. Into the eye. We might have to back this one out and do a little bit bigger an eye to get this part started. Alright, there we go. Now, carefully pull it through. This particular 550 cord is actually very soft, and I'm not used to working with soft 550 cord, so it's coming through very easily. Relatively easily. And roll it between your fingers. Now, normally this will cause you quite a bit of pain from friction burns. If you do this enough, you'll end up with really calloused fingers. Alright? If you ever have a medical examination, the doctor will know exactly what you've been doing. Now, this is where things differ a little bit. Because this is going on to a fixed object, I wouldn't normally need this part of the splice. But I'm doing it this way so you can see it. Cinch it down and make it tight, and then back it out. Very carefully. Alright. Take your needle again. And you remember I just said back it out very carefully, right? It's because you're going to need to mark where you want to go through next. Alright. Now you're going to cinch it down again. Get it out of your way. And carefully back it out. Do you need to move the camera around to see this? Okay. I have help today. till you get it aligned. Yay! So we're back in the core, the sleeve of this 550 cord. Just slide it up a little bit, more or less equal to where it was. Now you're going to take the bitter end through. Right? Now if you're lazy, as soon as you pull this part through, you're done. But I am not lazy, and if I don't show it to you, you're not going to know what to do next if you don't want to be lazy yourself. Again, roll it, keep it rolled, keep it rolling. And there. Okay, so now you have the bitter end has gone through the sleeve and back out again. Now you have, excuse me, the standing part went through the sleeve and back out again. Now you have the bitter end going through the sleeve and back out again at the same spot. Now pull it through. You see this nice little twist right here? That happens every time. Don't worry about it. Just twist it the other way. We have this nice bite, eye, loop, whatever you want to call it, right here. Try and pull this all tight again, because this next part is really dependent on that. Also try pulling the right end. Don't be like me there, right there. And ta-da! Now you have a basic eye, okay? But you also have this huge piece sticking out. Now, you could be lazy and just burn this and stitch it down. But we're not going to be lazy today. Take the needle, and again, stretch it out tight to get your mark. And there. Now back it down again so you have a little bit of room to work. And back it out very carefully so that you can get the eye of the needle into the core. And keep it in the core. Alright. Before this, it kind of mattered where you came out a little bit, but not that much. Here, it's not going to matter at all because we're going to take it down. We could take it all the way back to the bitter end if we wanted to, but we're not going to. All we have to do is make sure the entire bitter end gets into the core. You're going to have to do that 3 or 4 times. You can see a nice little pile here. Oops. Okay, so it's the core is, or the bitter end rather, is back in the eye. Needle's out. And just go ahead and pull it on through. Now I hope I calculated this right, because what I want to show you is this standing part actually coming out the other end, and what to do then. Good. As you can see, the bitter end is actually is sticking out like a big loop, eye, bite, whatever. Just go ahead and pull the rest of it out. And if did this right, and I think I did, it'll completely stick out. Yay! Right there. See, we have a little bit of stick out here. If you want, you could put the needle back in to mark where it stuck out at. Then pull it back down. And clip it somewhere between where it comes out and where your needle is. Now, pull it up again. Now it should be all nice and flat and smooth. And as you can see, this wrench is now spliced to the 550 cord. This is actually a special purpose wrench. It's only ever going to be used for one job. So we wanted to put a line on it so we could recover it really easily if we dropped it. All right, all of this beautiful, beautiful, ugly as hell core. Just going to make a basic stitch, and you're going to do it in a specific spot at least. All right, where the bitter end went back in and then never came out again. That's where you're going to aim for. This is actually the worst needle for this part of the project, but oh well. Can we get a close-up on, I mean, if you have to move in. First of all, let me show you the spot where it's going in right there. You need to go across that. And this is really a do-by feel. You can't really see what you're doing too well, but as you can see, hopefully, it's going into the bitter end on this side and it's coming out on the standing part on this side. So just pull it on through. This will lock it into place. Again, if you're not going to be lazy, you should actually do that again here in the middle and here at the start. This is the type of splice you would actually have to use for an open splice because it prevents the eye from slipping back down. You don't have to do this for a permanent attachment. You could skip that first step, but I really wanted to show you how to do it properly all the way through. Put any kind of slip knot on it you want, as long as it's not going to come undone easily. Pull it all through. Take it around a couple times, at least. I actually usually take them around about 5 or 6 times. I'm not doing it this time just so that I can show you how to do this. And as you can see, there's an overlap or overriding term forming here. You want those. You just don't want them all in one spot. Finally, at some point, you're going to have as many overriding terms as you think you need. Take it back through where you did before, which means you might have to undo that slip knot right there. Back in and out again. Pull it through. Whoop. Do not pull your old bitter end out. And tighten everything down, make it nice and neat. And you are ready to put a square knot right there. Put at least 3 square knots on it. I'm doing it loosely so you can see. And now, the piece de resistance. First of all, slide slide this down because you want them ish same length. Take the needle and put it back through, just like you did before. Oh yeah, that's nice and tight now. And back out again. All right, pull it all the way through. Once it's all the way through and this is all cinched up again, clip it as close to where it comes through as possible. You want to take it down as far as you can and not half-assed like I did just now. Pull it back out. That'll put your tie inside of the line so your knots can't come back undone. This works for just about everything that you could possibly want to put an eye splice into. Next time I'm going to show you a way to set up your bitter end so that you don't have to burn it. Have that nasty smell that will eventually come undone as well. Until next time, keep calm and mandatory carry on. Go see a leader.